Hey guys, how's it going? So I figured I would come back today to record another video. I want to talk a bit more about the conversation I had with Officer Park. I wanted to extrapolate on that a little more and give some additional thoughts because, when you listen to that, you only hear the exchange between me and Officer Park, and I just wanted to say some additional words in response to that video. So first off, I want to go on record as saying that I'm not a cop hater. I'm not anti-police. I'm anti-tyrant, which I don't like cops who think they have authority over me when in fact they don't. Because in order for them to have authority over me, that means that I would have to be in violation of a law or I'd have to be breaking a law. So I have no ill will or nefarious intentions against Officer Park. He's just doing his job and he is doing what was asked of him, which I have no disgust or hatred towards him. At the end of that call, I did tell him to go eat a donut and have a nice day. And yeah, I was probably, wrong for saying it. But at the same time, I'm not going to be intimidated by a cop who not only is in my jurisdiction, but he's not even in my state. And he's going to give his unlawful directives and warnings to someone who has not broken a law. I'm not going to be intimidated by law enforcement or the like. I don't care. But him as an individual, he's just doing his job, and I have respect for anybody just doing their job. But you're not going to use this, you have no authority over me. The only time that your directives would matter or actually be taken into consideration is if, in fact, I'm breaking the law. If I am in violation of a law, then I would have to obey the orders of law enforcement. But I have not been in violation of a law. Writing a letter to someone is not in violation of a law. And I stand by what I said in yesterday's recording. If Sarah had an issue with me contacting her, then she could have directly on social media reached out and said, hey, I would assume not hear from you anymore, which is great. Not a problem. But she wanted to go through the law to, try to intimidate and scare me, which didn't work, because I don't feel intimidated. Even today, I woke up with a clear conscience, clear state of mind. I don't feel intimidated or threatened by Johnny Law, who lives in Milford, Connecticut, or works in Milford, Connecticut, wherever he lives, doesn't matter. I don't feel intimidated. I'm not even in fear. But I don't hate cops. I know lots of cops who are really down to earth, really, stand-up guys and gals, and policing is a tough job. It's a very tough job. But you don't get to use policing as a way to get back at people who've bullied you throughout your entire life. You don't get to do that. You have a job to uphold the laws and the rights of the people because you are a public servant. It is your job to serve the public. We don't answer to you. You answer to the people whose rights that you have been sworn to uphold. I'm not breaking a law by writing a letter to somebody. And as I pointed out in yesterday's Daily Rant, if it was illegal for me to write a letter to someone, whether it be man, woman, child, doesn't make a difference. If that were illegal, I would already be in jail, because there are a countless number of people who appreciate the fact that I write letters to their kids, preferably cancer warriors. They don't see an issue with it. Cancer warriors, cancer survivors makes not one bit of difference. There's nothing nefarious. There's no ill will, no ill intentions. But it's not illegal. It's not against the law. There's nothing on the book saying that you can't write a letter to somebody. But again, like I said, I don't have any ill will against Officer Park. He was just doing his job. But I'm not going to put up with someone telling me that I can't do something when in fact I have not broken a law. I'm not in violation of a law. And as long as I'm not violating a law, I'll do whatever I want. And that is the case, whether it be writing a letter or doing anything. And when at the end of that call, towards the end of the call, I kept saying, who cares, who cares, who cares? Because at that point in the conversation, when he was trying to wield his authority over me, that's when I just kept telling him, look, who cares, who cares, who cares? I don't care. I'm not interested in speaking with you anymore because you're giving unlawful directives. At this point, I don't care. I can do whatever I want as long as I'm not in violation of the law. Now, that also means that I still have a choice. If I want to write again to Sarah, I could, but that doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to. And I already knew I wasn't in trouble to begin with, so that's why I kept saying at the end of the call, who cares, who cares, who cares? Because really, who gives a fuck? Nobody should care. I have not violated a law. I'm not in violation of a law. And then he says, well, you know, if you don't want people talking to you, you have a right to not be spoken to by certain individuals. Okay, but I don't go running to the police. If I have an issue with somebody where I don't want them speaking to me, I'm not going to go cry to the cops. The cops are there to make sure, again, like I said, to uphold your rights and to uphold the law. That's it. They're not feelings enforcement, they're law enforcement. I don't run to the cops every time someone contacts me that I don't want to hear from. I handle that on my own because I'm an adult. Unlike Sarah, who wants to run to the cops every time there's an issue. Well, this only happened once. And again, like I said, that option is still up to me. I'm not saying I will contact Sarah anymore in the future, and I'm not saying I won't contact Sarah anymore in the future. But either way, that's neutral. It's up to me. And I have not violated a law. So, yeah, I probably shouldn't have told Officer Park to go eat it, but it was kind of funny. I did laugh at my own remark. But at that point, I was already aggravated. I was beyond fed up. It's like, this is stupid. This is a waste of time. And when I'm getting letters from a precinct in another state telling me that there's an ongoing investigation, there is no investigation. And I had demonstrated that to Officer Park. And he even told me, well, you're not in trouble. So if I'm not in trouble, then what's the investigation? There was no investigation. That's like a false pretense kind of a thing going on. There's a legal term to describe that. Entrapment, I think it is, or something like that. Maybe it's not entrapment, but there is a legal term to describe that. It was on a false premise, saying that there's an ongoing investigation. No, there wasn't. No ongoing investigations. So, and look, I don't even have any disgust or ill will towards Sarah. But I have never in my life had someone actually go to the cops just because I had written a letter to a young child of cancer survivor saying that they are an inspiration. That's never happened to me before. That doesn't say anything about me, by the way. If I'm just saying, hey, you inspire people, including myself, that doesn't say anything about me writing the letter. That says more about her being immature and always thinking that, her mind going to the gutter. Well, why is a grown man writing to my kid? Well, big deal. I write to lots of cancer warriors and survivors. I don't hear them complaining. And they sure as shit don't run to the cops every time they stub their toe. Because that's basically what it is. That's what it amounts to. But anyway, I thought I'd come on here real quick and give my extrapolation of thoughts concerning yesterday's conversation with Officer Park. And look, there's nothing serious going on. That's just a play on words to put fear into people to get them to fold to that fear. And I'm not afraid. The only reason I contacted Officer Park because I had a feeling that if I didn't contact him and resolve this right away, he would have just been continuously trying to call me or send letters or whatever. We'll just get it out of the way and be done. And I was annoyed at the conversation. I wasn't annoyed with Officer Park. I was annoyed at the conversation. Again, you have no authority over me, even if you're in my jurisdiction, even if you're in my state. Until such time as I break a law, your directives mean zippo. So, take that into consideration, and thanks for watching. Have a good one.